productivity in a world of distractions. As a performance consultant, he enjoys small to mid-sized companies from 1 to 217 people, and is totally energized when he works with the sales and marketing departments of any size company. He specializes in training managers to be more human because of this. 80% of workers quit their boss, not their job. Think about that. So if your boss sucks, Dominic can help you with that to make it better. If your coworkers suck, then it's probably you. And he can help you with that too. Let's find out what this is all about. Let's bring up Dominic Karuba.
What's success? What is success? Well, I pondered on that question. I've asked it no less than 1,000 times in the last 20 so years. And the final thing I had to do is I had to go to the all-knowing, ever-powerful Google. So I Googled it. Success is the accomplishment of a goal. So what's failure? Google. Lack of success. Well, that was helpful. So I've been on this journey of success for a very long time. Been studying and wondering about what is success. And it seems like the only way, very simple way to become successful is to accomplish your goals. Simple. There's a problem. There's a problem with goals. Tonight we're going to talk about what the problem with your goals is and some of the sources of what might actually be keeping you from reaching your full potential. So let's take a little throwback. My first real inquiry into this, how to become a success, in 1990. I'm listening to my first set of Tony Robbins tapes. And Tony says, success is a feeling. You feel successful based on the rules you've created. That was pretty interesting. So I could feel successful just by waking up in the morning. Because that's a rule. And I did it. And it worked. And every day above ground was a successful day. And I felt successful for a couple of days. But then I had bills to pay. And there's some other things I wanted to do in life besides just feel successful. Now that was really good advice, by the way. You know, you can tap into your power, feel successful, and actually that helps you in the mindset to do better, therefore be better, and therefore be more successful. And I tried it. And it worked. A little. But there was something missing in that formula for success. It wasn't enough just to wake up successful. So I started reading my books and all that, and I came across this really insightful thing called the SMART goal. How many of you have heard of the SMART goal? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-worthy goals are the way to be successful. Well, I mean, because come on, if you're going to have a goal, you might as well know what it is. And then I realized, well, wait, that's the same thing I read in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, in 1984. Sitting on the couch in my friend's trailer when we started our snowball stand business. I mean, this is it. I had my definite major purpose to sell snowballs. So that's important. Clarity does bring some power. It brings you clarity on what you're working on and why, and all those things are important, but I'm here to tell you that your SMART goals are not that smart. That there's something wrong with the SMART goals. Because I really wasn't, the snowball stand fizzled. It didn't really fail, it just kind of fizzled. Location turns out to be important. But it did allow me to learn a lesson, and what I figured out was, after reading another book called The Magic of Thinking Big, was that, well, my goal wasn't big enough. just good enough to be a snowball stand operator and make some money, whatever the money was. I had to, dominate the world Southeast Snowball Association that didn't exist ever. So, I riled up my big, smart, hairy goals. And I went at it. And I started to produce some pretty amazing results. By the time I was 24 years old, I was cash flowing more in a month than my dad made in in a year as a school teacher. That was pretty good for a 24-year-old punk. But I didn't feel successful. See, my big, hairy goals got beyond waking up in the morning. And I woke up always feeling like I had more. There was more in me. There was more I could do. There was more I could do. And I pushed and pushed and pushed for more. Well, like all good things, I pushed and pushed and pushed. And there it was, right about to turn 30 years old, right about to hit $1 million in my telephone company, only to fail miserably. About $37,000 shy of $1 million the year I closed my phone company. So I couldn't join YEO. I couldn't put that on the mark. I was, like to say, disappointed. But I had goals. I felt like I was doing the right thing. So I recovered from that failure and went back to, well, look, every day above ground is a great day. I'm going to be successful. And turns out, I did. I paid back the $500,000 in debt within 18 months. I was back on my road. I was going to be a millionaire in real estate within a few short months. Right about 9/11. I didn't realize it at the time. But I was only a year away from losing $1 million again. That wasn't exactly my big, smart, hairy goal. Back to waking up in the morning feeling successful is my only return. Well, I did at that point in time what any average, intelligent entrepreneur would do that didn't realize he was insane. Do you know what insanity is? Do you know what it is? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result. So I read more books. I listened to more tapes. I went to more seminars. I knew I could figure out what was wrong with me. It had to be me. Well, it actually didn't turn out to be insane. Last year, finally, many years later, I read a book by Carol Dweck that really changed everything for me. It really shifted my whole belief around success. And I went from understanding why my big, smart, hairy goals weren't working, understanding what I was doing to cause a lack of fulfilling my own potential. She wrote a book called Mindset. Do you want to know what she discovered in that book? It was a remarkable discovery. Carol Dweck, Mindset. It turns out the difference between fulfilling your potential and not comes down to your mindset. Clever way to name the book the exact answer to the whole question. What she discovered, I'm not going to go through all the details, I'll let you read the book yourself because there's way more that I'm not covering than I am. But there are two mindsets that will either fulfill us, help us on a road to fulfill, or help us fail. And that is a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. A fixed mindset, well, I looked at as being closed-minded, a growth mindset being open-minded. Well, I had what you call in that moment, that part of the book, cognitive dissonance. Or as we say in the South, something ain't right. See, I was definitely frustrated, not fulfilling my potential, not reaching my big, hairy, smart goals. But also knew that I was one of the most growth-oriented people I knew. I took more seminars, read more books, listened to more tapes, constantly there, and I didn't know what was really wrong. So I went in deeper and I discovered what it is. One of the things about a fixed mindset that she discovered was that especially with parents raising children. And if you focus on the accomplishment, you create a fixed mindset. If you focus on the results, people tend to get afraid of trying new things because they might not produce the result, thereby shutting them down to actually learning and growing in the process. Remarkable. She has a whole program for kids and students and kids in schools to make that point and prove her research, and it's producing tremendous results. Well, the other thing a fixed mindset does is that growth mindset and fixed mindset people actually look alike. They respond to life pretty much the same way. It's not your attitude. It's your response to failure. Definition of failure is lack of success or not accomplishing your goal. There is a particular response we have. So what happens is there's this dynamic that gets created when you create goals as the result you're looking for. So let's talk about some of the problems with goals, right? So now I've matched up what she said, and I put it into some things I just knew from my own experience about goals. Number one, a couple things goals do to you, no matter how big, no matter how smart, no matter how hairy they are, they do a couple things to you. They, number one, train you to be unhappy. They do, right? Because where you are now is not where you want to be. I want to be bigger, stronger, faster, taller. Well, it can't be taller. Well, yes, you could. But I want to be something that I'm not. Therefore, every moment that I'm not, I'm unhappy. The second thing they do is, make sure I get it right, they create a yo-yo effect. You see, even if you accomplish your goal, you get that reward, the feeling good, all the energy that it took to achieve the goal is now gone once you accomplish it. Case in point, 2000, I ran a marathon. 2001, I was back to 20 pounds overweight because I ran the marathon. So they become history, or they become a misery if you're not there yet. The third thing goals tend to do is that they cause fear. False evidence appearing real. They have you focus on the circumstances that are occurring, and your relationship to those circumstances will create either a fight or flight response, depending on your mindset. So, you either end up creating this downward spiral failure mode that keeps occurring when you keep trying to achieve a goal and don't, or a yo-yo effect that's not sustainable. The energy is not sustainable with those goals. What I call the SMART goal syndrome. But there is a cure. And I'm going to give you the cure, and you can take it, and there's only one thing you have to do. To avoid the SMART goal syndrome, to avoid the fear, the frustration, and the failure of creating a fixed mindset, all you have to do is shift your goal from the result to the process. To enjoy the process of attaining your goal. If you can do that, it allows you to feel accomplishment every day that you're working on and producing something toward some goal that may be the result of your daily discipline. But it's in your control. It's something you can do. It allows you to feel good about the actions you're taking, whether you produce the result or not. It's called falling in love with the process. It's called learning. It's called being open and growing, paying attention to the feedback. And if you do that, what I've discovered is that it's way more powerful than waking up in the morning and feeling successful, which I found is not that important, but rather laying your head on the pillow at night, knowing you are. Mr. Toastmaster?